We're
Sorry.
live.
No, stop.
I'm doing this. I go live. You're the only person where you groan that I go live on time. So
Ugh.
We've been doing this for 2 years, and the fact that he's never prepared each time.
I've been prepared a few times.
But you complain every time. Like, would you prefer we not go live? We can leave. We can call the entire session off if that's what you would you prefer.
No,
that?
Yeah.
no, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I bet
I
you
have
guys got
everything
ready
up.
really quick, didn't you?
I did very quick actually. I'm good now. I have everything pulled up.
I'm glad. Start the recap.
hello everybody and welcome to session 85, I believe, of Papihos.
6.
86?
86.
God damn, I can't even keep up with my own shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't. That's crazy, man.
Oh, I have to like post the
86.
one on YouTube, you know, the negative interaction video, and then and then I have to switch over to this one, so I get a little bit confused every once in a while. But hello everybody and welcome to session 86 of Papihos. My name is JC or Joseph Productions, and I'm here with 5 wonderful people. I'm here with Helminia, James, Suzanne, Alpha, and Jazz, all playing wonderful characters in this world. There's not too much to say besides the fact that just a general warning that when the December month hits around, we haven't all 6 of us haven't exactly talked about when exactly everyone's departing to go on their vacation for winter break. But just a general warning that at the very least, at the end of December, we will not be playing D&D, sadly. However, does not mean the sessions are over, far from it even, as we will be back and ready for more chaos. However, if I remember correctly, last time we started rolling, they were in the Temple of the Brine over by Dentor and Sabeline, and now we're back in Greywall, so something had to happen. Well, let's go into a recap. Last we left off, you all were below the Temple of the Brine as Suna had been stricken by this sort of pseudo transformation or overcome with this arcane surge of power inside of her, slightly transforming her, and had been taken by Father Limrin below the temple, the other 4 of the party close on their heels. When they got below, they engaged in combat with Father Limrin, Brother Treolth, and Sister Navira, who had all turned hostile. Suna began casting spells which destabilized over time the entire cavern until everything fell and collapsed the Temple of the Brine, shattering into the ocean, but leaving people miraculously alive. Well, most everyone. As you found out later that Father Limrin had a different name to go by, as his skin was stripped away by the rockfall, revealing him to be Gordost, one of the 7 Ascended, and pulling the strings on Suna's background. He hoisted and presented Suna with the Mantle of the Weave artifact, which he quickly took from him to his amusement, and he torched to ash Treolth, who also survived the rockfall, before thanking everyone for making his job a little easier of what he personally wanted to do, and absconding to a place where none of you know. Battered, bruised, but alive, the 5 of you flew, thanks to Zex, back up top where the cart was still available, and so all of you made your way back to Greywall. Unsure of what to exactly do next, you all departed and split for the night, thinking on your own terms. But the morning comes for us all, and with that, the 5 of you find yourself on this morning reconvening in the kitchen and dining room as all of you come together to eat and possibly discuss what comes next. As all of you are being served piping hot, probably eggs, potatoes, tea, and water, you all have the day ahead of you. What would you guys like to do?
Okay, so hey, first things first. I think we should talk about how better to fight beings we suspect to be 7 Ascended in the future.
I was literally about to unmute and then I started coughing. I apologize. Another thing is, how long do we plan on staying here?
Until Zex is done with
About a week.
his project.
About a week?
About a week. Five-ish days.
And when do we want to have our roommate meeting, Suna?
I think we should just do it now,
Cool. I'm down.
since we're all here.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any objections for that?
What do you mean a roommate meeting?
For the 7
Oh,
Ascended
sorry.
stuff.
Is there something else you wanted to call us?
What do we mean roommate meeting?
We are having a roommate meeting.
Would you prefer team meeting?
I mean, I'd like to know what we're talking about first.
How to better fight beings we assume to be 7 Ascended going forward.
Are we even gonna fight them at all?
I
Are
mean,
we
considering
capable?
we've already fought 2 of them, and I've run into 3 or 4. I don't think it's bold to assume that we would encounter these beings and possibly fight them again.
I may be unqualified to say it, but I don't think Lackham at the very least is within our wheelhouse.
I mean, maybe not.
I mean, we do
So we
have to
def-
fight her sooner or later, right?
Later
Not
seems to be the
inherently.
option.
So, can I pull out the scrolls that I got? Because that's where we got the information for what could actually deal damage to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so can I pull those out?
Absolutely. As you, I believe there are the 3 scrolls that you grabbed, actually.
I just kind of swept stuff off the shelves,
Mm-hmm.
assuming they're in shelves. So I assume I have more than those 3, but yes, those were the
You
3
were,
locations that I
you
grabbed.
could have swept a lot of them in, but those 3 were not in one spot. So if you were just
Right.
sweeping a shelf, you could sweep like one of them and then a bunch of other random ones, or you could have picked out the 3. And I was assuming you picked out the 3 that you knew were useful.
Okay, yeah, I suppose that's fine. The way I had thought I had done it was I had just kind of gone to each shelf and just sort of pushed stuff in the general area to try and grab them.
But with them, they are The three scrolls that you guys had deemed throughout your research useful, that Zex smartly grabbed before the temple met its end. And with it, the leather tome that Zex himself had curated and left on the table, as all of you kind of take in the fact that all of your research, everything you know and have on the Ascended, boils down to these 4 pieces of information.
Isn't that depressing?
It's not bad for something over 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Being that I don't have any magic that can actually hurt them, what am I supposed to do?
I mean, I'd
Some-
personally like to look at this a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay.
If they were able to be killed or harmed in a significant way, I feel like that would have happened as the incident initially occurred. So one of 2 things has happened. Either we're laboring under the illusion that they've been weakened enough over time that we can harm and potentially slay them, or we need to look into resealing them or finding out what unsealed them initially.
But I mean, there is the point of we have killed one.
Have we?
Huh?
We have not.
You want to run that by me again?
Apologies.
All good.
We've hurt one. I also think we should look more into this caretaker of sin entity.
All right.
So we should probably head off to the Hearthman soon after
Yeah.
this. After this
Probably.
week.
Do you need anything in particular for that spell you were telling me about, Ron?
I am going to need some ivory strips and some incense.
All right. Do we want to get those during the week while we're still here?
Yeah, we can look into it, but like I said, this isn't guaranteed to keep anything in check.
Right.
Incense and ivory strips.
Yep.
All right. With all
Do we
this
wanna look-
kind of set out, besides, I guess, your shopping and the golem for Zex, does anyone else have plans for the week?
I'm going to get my emerald dust tattoo, and I already have it planned.
You
I would-
already have the emeralds for that?
I do. Not emeralds. Sorry, I totally lied. I'm doing. I bought them. It's jade. I'm doing a jade tattoo for my wisdom mod.
And I would like to get a piece of paper and a writing utensil of sorts from someone, probably Rem or Zax. I feel like they're the most likely to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You got
And I I have a letter to be writing to someone.
Okay.
Do I have 7 days or 5 days?
5.
5.
5.
In D&D, a
Um,
week is 5 days.
I wanted to double check that. I'll make 5 healing potions, like normal healing potions.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the princess calls, we'll do that. But
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go scope out the castle after all my shopping. Speak with Vidaire, sit with him a bit as he goes through the motions, and see if I see that arbiter I'm friends with.
Okay. So, a couple of things to do. Nime, I assume you are asking a certain tiefling friend for travel assistance.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask a certain tiefling friend for travel assistance if he will let me.
Of course.
You're great. And then, just so that way everybody knows, I'm sending it to the D&D chat. This is what's going inside of Nime's ear with that ink.
Interesting.
Big as the tattoo.
So Nime is tattooing the inside of her right or left ear with that? Or do you want
Left
both?
ear.
Left ear. So Nime, yeah. I'll get around to describing that when it happens.
I'm excited. But yes, Nime is going to approach Zex and very politely ask for travel assistance to, gosh, I don't even remember where it is. Where is it, JC? Nime's got the memory. I don't.
It's in Dentor.
Nime is going to ask very politely to Zex if she could have travel assistance to Dentor to get a very special tattoo.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Does Zex have to go with me? Zex has to go with me, doesn't he?
So here's the deal. I'm gonna drop you off for a day,
Cool.
and then come back the next day. So you're gonna stay the night in Dentor.
Okay. Sleeping arrangements. How much will that cost, JC?
We'll just say for you to get a single thing, get food for the night and all that, we'll just round it off to 5 gold.
Cool. I'll take it. I'm going to do that
For
then.
the day. Yeah. Alrighty. So, we're gonna start it like this. We're just kind of gonna go, and I'm gonna randomly. I guess since Nime has already described most of it, I'll start with her, but she will be the only one not chosen at random. As we kind of go through the week a little bit. But Nime, you and Zex teleport up to Dentor. The cold sea air greets you again. Probably you look on it a little bit less favorably than you did before. But you know that the orcish man that you are looking for resides by the docks. And so you head there. Zex leaves you behind so that you are in Dentor by yourself. And you have, as you kind of go in, the warmed air of the tattoo parlor. And you have the... Let me double check this. You have the 2,200 gold pieces worth of jade dust, or jade to be turned into dust, and then along with the 300 just standard gold pieces.
Yes, and I already subtracted that from my wallet, so I have it all set aside and ready to go.
Gotcha. So you got just two pouches for him. And you can watch this orcish man covered in glittering tattoos as he just sets to work. And there's so much jade here that you watch as he crushes slowly, carefully, not to lose any of the dust, all of this jade down. And it gives you a lot of time to sit and think and consider what you wanted them to be, but you have decided.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you sit and lie back in a chair, as you can hear this needle being run across this small stone, for the tattoo, can you make a con save for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second here. Oh my god, my cat's trying to eat my Spam fried rice. Gosh darn it.
What did I miss? I just got back. I've been gone for 5-10 minutes.
You said a con save?
Con save, yep.
You gotta make a con save for the tattoo?
Apparently.
Just to not pass out.
Well, I'm probably not gonna pass
We've been
out.
stabbed on
I
multiple
rolled a
occasions.
19.
Well, yeah, it's painful, but you can stay awake during it, and you can... it's so... I hate needles so much, and just thinking about hearing it going through your ear.
Oh, dude.
But we have to make a con save because you have to make a con save.
Yes. I hate needles so much.
I've decided to call the tattoo the all-knowing eyes.
Mm.
That is what it's called.
And as you kind of say this, Yen kind of remarks on this. He's like, you know, the all-seeing eye is a moniker of a god.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Gods like to say they see a lot of things. Anything to see everything, though. That's a little preposterous. And
I think I can agree with that.
and after a few hours of careful tattooing, laborious work, Nime, you have the inside of your left ear covered in these glittering green-hued eyes, looking in different directions. A total of 12 of them, all looking in different directions and all of them glittering.
Gosh,
they-
just think about it. It looks so cool.
And he's been able to put in this small effect of if you focus on any one of the eyes, it's one of those things where it looks like it's looking at you.
Aw, yeah.
And with that, your wisdom permanently goes up by 1.
I'm a little smarter. And question. I know this is obviously not something that'll probably happen, I really hope. But let's say, hypothetically, I got kidnapped and my ear got cut off. Would I lose that 1 plus wisdom?
They'd have to cut so far into your head that you might die.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
if you're getting cut that hard, that your inner ear was getting cut out, I'm pretty sure we'd be worried about your head rather than your ear first.
And I can
Well,
if I regenerate it, does she get the tattoos back?
Technically, no.
They're
That's-
magical tattoos.
It's a magical
though.
tattoo.
Would I be able to get another one if that happened?
Sure, absolutely.
Great. Okay,
Let's not
that's
talk
all
about the
I
optics
Let's
of
not
cutting
talk-
off pieces
yeah, let's
to change out tattoos.
Yeah, let's not talk about tattoo dissection.
Unless.
But with that, Nime, you just enjoy the cold, now quiet town of Dentor. A town that
Is there
has
anything special in Dentor?
been... with Dentor, there were the churches, as Dentor was an inherently religious place, but a lot of the churches are abandoned now. Think of Dentor a lot like a historic town, where everything was important at one point. The bar was important in history at one point in time, but there's not much to do actively in Dentor.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna go back to my sleep place then.
It's a historic town. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I could go to churches, but what am I gonna find?
Yeah, what could anyone find in a church? Okay.
Nothing.
Next up on
It's not
the...
about what you find, it's about what finds you.
It's about what finds you. Next up, we are going to Rem, congratulations on winning the pot.
Okay.
You are, besides, are you paying for the ivy? Is Zex paying for the ivy? I don't know who's paying for ivy and incense, but
I'm doing it this time, but I'm hitting his ass for it later.
okay. So you can easily.
I mean, the ivory isn't consumed for that spell. Just
The ivory is not, but I need 200 gold worth of ivory
250
and 200
yeah.
and 250 worth of incense, which is consumed.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a little bit of a price. But you're
450.
able
That's
to acquire that quite easily throughout the week. But we'll say that you kind of put an appeal to Vardair to, you wanted to like almost shadow him, is what you wanted?
Yeah. Just to kind of be around him and help him with anything that he has to explain. Man, this man seems stressed. I'm sure I could give him a hand with just some shit while I'm waiting here. Just filling him in that we're leaving soon and we're probably going to be out of town for some time. And,
Mhm.
you know, I'm just kind of running errands right now and ask if he needs help with anything at this moment.
And for that, Vardair just kind of schedules something with you. And on the day that you actually do, a couple of days later, come in and you find yourself working alongside the ambassador. You can immediately tell that there's a lot of paperwork, very similar to the other time that you were helping out in government. As Vardair is largely in charge of different stands at the marketplaces, if they're permitted to be there or not, any of the businesses, any of the problems that they're having, talking with the airship people, and all of this, not whether it's legal or not, but just of the relations, as he is the public relations ambassador.
So this is kind of my wheelhouse then from what I was doing before.
It's honestly not that far off.
Am I of any actual help to him?
Think of it almost like similar things to what you were doing in Formount, but on a infinitely larger scale. So it's more of you helping, being almost like a human bookmark, not to sound too crass about it.
I'm
But
skimming things, handing it off, like keeping track of things. I'm like a more involved secretary right now.
yeah, a
How does he
secretary
feel
that he
about
doesn't
the,
exactly mind that he's handing these documents to.
Can I insight check to see how he feels about me offering any assistance whatsoever?
Sure.
14?
14. He's grateful as you go throughout this day, but you can always tell that there's a little something underneath his skin as he's like trying to almost see why you're doing it. But coming up short on a reason for you to be doing this, and just grateful to have a little bit of a helping hand.
I'll tell him. I'll look him, like if he ever like sneaks a glance at me, I'm just gonna look at him and tell him it's because I'm bored.
Oh. Well, your group always seems to be involved in so much, I can see why slowing down at any pace could be a little, uncomfortable.
And I also found a kind of liking for this kind of work when I was playing a temporary lord of Formount. So I have a bit of practice with it. It's different than what I usually do.
I never would have pinged you for a paperwork person.
I was the only paperwork person in the group at the time. Someone had to hold it all together.
I'm sure they appreciated that. Oh well, everyone had you pinned for someone who'd be vying for like an arbiter in the future or something like that.
I don't think, with me not being from here, they'd appreciate with me being an arbiter. And, you know, I do want to go home eventually. It's a lot of commitment.
The commitment part would be the issue, but rest assured, I'm sure there is pieces of a dragon that are proof enough of your fealty to commitment to help the people of the nation.
They know they can call on me if they need me. I found myself finding a bit of a big head about being one of the more prolific clergymen in the country.
It's something that, at least it's a useful thing to get a big head about.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes.
In my time all around, do I notice anything or anybody as I'm just kind of shadowing him?
People that you'd see throughout the castle, lots of staff, multitude of staff. At some points, you see, Kane, who is the halfling ambassador of like real estate, kind of moving around, and he's got these like heavy binders that he's moving. Selin at one point, the ambassador of law. You see a lot of the ambassadors, and at one point, you can see just one of the arbiters, actually, the Asimir, as he kind of walks by and kind of gives you a nod as passing through.
It's just all busy work. There's no joy here. It's
Nah. Everyone's busy in the castle.
Do I see a princess?
You do not see the princess, actually.
All right, that's my business.
Yep. Next up on the chopping block, Gilgamesh.
Oh, yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
So you're writing a letter.
I do happen to be writing a letter.
To whom are you writing?
The one and only Lord Ironbreath of Dacaria.
Of course. Are you comfortable sharing your letter with the class?
I mean, I guess. Essentially, in fairly bad handwriting. It's pretty big. Doesn't stay like consistently straight.
You got 'em,
Very
like,
rigid.
Whole grabbing, yeah. Whole palm.
Just realistically, really bad handwriting. Like, close to not being legible. And it's essentially thanking him for the use and trusts that he put in us with the 50 I gotta remember what they're called now. Hold on. I had it. Sorry. 100. No, I had it right. I know, I did. 50 Skyriders. I had it right the first time. And then a slight apology for the loss of any, if there were any that I knew of.
Yeah, the Skyriders had harsh casualties as they were fighting the dragon head on.
I figured. And so a separate little piece for apologizing, and then just sign it as the champion of Dacaria. And I mean, do I know where either Zex or Rem are right now, that they can like teleport this or do something cool with this?
I mean, they're both around the house.
Rem can show you the fucking post office.
Didn't I have a messenger hawk somewhere?
Yes,
You
you
have
did.
a
I
messenger
remember
hawk in
him.
your room. Yeah, he's just been sitting
Oh.
there tearing it up. But
So then I guess I'll go and find Zex and just kind of hand him the letter.
Okay, I'll tie it to the hawk and send him off to Dacaria.
alrighty. The wings expanding. Gil's letter moves on. Anything else you want to throw in, Gil, before I swap?
I mean, I guess I'll go and find Suna and just kind of ask if she needs like any help with anything. She randomly asked me to move stuff last time, so I figured I'd take initiative this time.
I guess I don't need any direct help, but I did want to talk to you.
About?
I don't expect that you'll like what I don't expect you to like this, but I think you've come to a point where you need to kind of accept that running away from certain fights might have to be an option moving forward. Will have to be an option moving forward.
I'm aware of the idea. But it does not seem one viable to me.
Don't forget, Gil, you have responsibilities now. It's no use just throwing that away. You've become important.
I'm important here, and I'll be important in my next life. Everyone has importance anywhere. My life's goal isn't to die in battle. But I know it's a real possibility. And I choose to accept that every time.
We're going to get in over our heads very soon. It might be for the best. And if we decide it's too much, to get out and come back.
If we're trying to take on the Ascended anytime soon, I advise against it. At least for the majority of them.
I would have said something similar. But it's personal now. That being said, we need to be smart about this.
Who's to say that in the rough 1,000 years they've been here that for some reason we're the strongest that have come along? Is it not possible that there have been stronger groups who have tried the same feat we have and failed miserably?
It's possible. Though they have only started coming, from what we understand, is they've only started coming back recently. Like within our lifetimes type of deal. So I'm sure there's been more powerful groups, stronger groups than us in the past. but we're the strongest there is right now. At least as far as I'm aware.
I say if we make any definitive action on any of the Ascended, we at least try to recruit any of the Arbiters that we can, or have left at least. Anybody
That's
else
That's
that
not
we
a
know
bad
can do
idea.
anything. Going into battle unprepared is ignorance.
I can agree to that. I'd say having no plan to get out in case shit goes far too sideways is going in unprepared.
Who's to say that laying down your life isn't a way out?
If you won't do it for you, do it for me, okay? I need you around.
Once we have definitive action against something you think we can't win, we can talk. And Gil is just gonna leave. He's just gonna go.
Went about how I expected.
But nevertheless, it was had. But, Zex.
Oh.
Besides teleporting Nime, sending a letter for Gil, and working on your golem for 5 days. Anything else you got?
Nope, just on the second day that I need to go and pick up Nime.
Okay. It's a bit of a side thing, but yeah, you got it. You don't leave her struggling too long.
I want to know. I want to have everybody's reactions to this tattoo because no one will know.
But they can very easily see it.
Damn, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Damn, that's it, bro. That's fucking it.
Man, I wasn't prepped for this.
No, I meant like as I see you. I don't need everybody right now.
This is an
Jesus.
awkward pause now. and goes, damn.
Whoa.
There's a
Damn,
tattoo there.
I guess.
Sick, bro.
I was gonna
Sick
look,
tat,
man.
bro.
Don't make me do the brain reading again and have everybody go down the line.
Go for it. Do it.
All right. Before we get on to that, Suna,
Ew.
you're making potions.
I was making potions, yeah.
Um,
Do I get a call on my secret cell phone?
you do during the week get a call.
Yo.
About 3 days in, you get a call from Roxy. And It is simply asking how you would feel about being an weapons instructor.
A weapons instructor?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, yeah, I could probably do that. It's not that many words.
Okay. And what you kind of, that's kind of it, and you feel like it's kind of random until about an hour later, there is a knock on the door. And it is just a member of the guard. And she asks you to kind of come with her by request of the High Princess.
All right.
And you are led into the castle, upwards into the Greywall Castle. As you kind of move further and further in, you can see hallways and rooms that you've never actually been in personally, until you go out a door back into the sunlight, and you can see you have gone through the castle into this sort of backyard almost. And you can see it overlooking, as Greywall Castle is on this slow incline, slightly elevated above the rest of Greywall. You can see it go down into the scattered woods that you can see off in the distance. And kind of standing there are first a couple of guards, bodyguards, but then wearing this kind of light white tunic and just standard leather pants and greaves is Roxy, actually. And you can see that she is currently sitting at this table, and across it is this like variety of very, very well made and crafted and engraved, almost ceremonial looking weapons. And her face, you can see it kind of brighten a little bit when she sees you, and then kind of slide back into a little bit more forced regal mode. As she starts with kind of just walking up to you and giving this small nod before, "It's a pleasure to see you. I've been in dire need of some assistance in learning the craft of the art of weapons and swords and the like, and I've been unable to find a suitable tutor until now, but I appreciate you coming." And she kind of like almost waves off, and you can see the woman who led you in and the two bodyguards kind of step and go off before she kind of just waits for like a straight 20 seconds or so before she kind of rocks back onto her heels and her attitude changes back to, I'm sorry, this is the most official kind of way that I could say hi. I figured you have a sword, or you had a sword. That's a glaive on your back now, actually. Did you? Never mind. This was my idea.
It's probably better than what I would have thought. And I did have a sword at one point.
I remembered you having a sword. That's kind of why I thought about it. But it's also like a 2-for-1 deal because my other instructor was ass. So I don't know. You don't have to actually teach me anything. I just figured I could tell you that this was kind of an official-ish way we can say hi, because I was probably making you a little bit uncomfortable just kind of swinging by whenever.
I mean, it is nice to like officially meet you.
Yeah. I just, yeah, it's just, you don't have to, like, you know, use a title or anything. Those are stupid. It's just Roxy. Still, even it's official. You're probably gonna have to call it that if, like, my mom comes out here. My mom's a little up in arms about it all, you know. But it's embarrassing, so, yeah, thanks for coming out here. It's not, sorry, it's not like you had a choice. I'm sorry, I just kind of realized that. Stupid.
I mean, I would have come anyway.
That's very nice, thanks. And you watch as she kind of goes over to the table, and she just kind of takes this this set of 2 daggers off of the table, and she just kind of, you see her just almost flick the handle over her knuckles as it flips almost like a coin before she catches it on the opposite side. I've always kind of had an affinity for these, just, it feels like you can hide them better, and, you know, it's the whole thing with my mom of, like, a proper lady shouldn't be seen carrying a massive sword, and axes look a little too heavy for me anyway, so, this is my kind of personal choice. And I know that's not kind of what you work with, and so it'll be an uphill battle. But I hope you don't mind.
I'm not unfamiliar with the weapon.
Well, I'll start working with them, and yeah. I know you're probably going somewhere soon, or you've got better things to do, but I don't know, whenever you want to say hi or tell me something I probably shouldn't know, then I figured this would be a good way to do it.
We are leaving soon.
See?
But when I am in town, I would be delighted
Awesome.
to train you in.
It's, you know, it's not something that the father or the queen and king would necessarily care about my progress on, and so there's no rush or anything. I don't know.
I mean,
It just seems like the perfect storm.
If you want, I can help.
Of course. Yeah, no. I still think I should kind of know how to use these things, you know? I get it, my choice, and she kind of almost wheels the knife around on her finger to swap the blade into her palm, isn't exactly the deadliest thing on the table, but I think it's elegant enough. I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought it looked cool. That's all I got.
What do I have on me? Well, no. Do I still have that? I still have the moonlit short sword, don't I?
You do.
I knew I had something small. I mean, I've been curious, so
Hmm.
If you want, we could spar a little bit, and I can kind of gauge kind of where you're at.
Yeah, yeah. And you can see her just kind of flip the knife back over.
Guess I'll pull out my short sword.
All right. So, since you're using a short sword, actually, you can use it for strength for either. But a duel is going to be of 3 separate weapon attacks.
Okay.
So, you can make your first one.
Fuck. And this is all,
Yeah.
we're going easy.
Okay.
We're not trying to hurt her or anything.
Mm-hmm. Then you just nat 20.
So that's first one's a 13.
13. Well, she beats you by 1, actually. She rolled a 14.
She's not gonna do it this time.
As basically you guys are moving on this, and you can see that she has a little bit of stuff going, but although you are the more experienced warrior, you are not an experienced teacher, and so the more you focus on her, the more sloppy you get. And there's a point where, as you're talking about the footwork, she just kind of moves forward and catches you off guard, and you kind of take a step back. And she just kind of looks at you almost like surprised, and I guess that was the right thing to do then. All right. And she even nervously kind of adjusts her own footing. And we're going to roll a second time.
Can dice rolls expire, or
What do you mean?
like I rolled right after the first one? Can I did that expire?
You're good.
Yeah.
If you want it to be that one.
I mean, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, what'd you roll?
I rolled a nat 20 for a total of 28.
Yeah, that beats her.
It's weird. I would have never guessed.
As for this one, you can see her just kind of testing, as she needs to get in closer than you, because even though you're using a short sword, her with daggers is she has less blade space to work with, and you find yourself kind of just keeping her at bay before at one point she tries to actually throw a dagger to distract you and run in, but you actually put the blade in between it, knock the thing out of the way, and then instinctively just almost sweep her off of her feet before you even realize what she's doing. She's completely horizontal and thuds onto the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah. Ow. Yeah. You got me.
Here, let me. I'll help you up. I'll hold out my hand.
And she kind of wipes the side of her face, which has got dirt on it. And as she grabs your hand, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
I didn't want to start on it because it's rude a little bit, but I gotta ask. Your eyes changed.
Oh, are they still
They've lessened to a degree, and they've been receding with every day, but your eyes are still darker.
It's better than it was.
Better than that implies that something was worse. What happened?
I don't. Do I like hear anyone like by the door or anything?
Make a perception check.
Who's telling me no? Was perception? 11.
No, you don't hear anyone by the door.
Yeah, you're just telling me no. We had a run-in with another. Do you remember, JC, if I directly mentioned the Seven Ascended by name to Roxy before?
Believe that you said the Seven Ascended to her by name, but you know that you saw her overhearing a conversation that the council was having about the Seven Ascended, and so you know that she knows about them.
Okay, that's all I needed. We had a run-in with another one of the Seven Ascended, and
what did he do to you?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I could breathe underwater. Because of whatever this is. Though I'd assume that's gone away or is going to go away. But I guess I was important to whatever he was doing, whether I wanted to be or not.
I'm sorry that you had to go through another one of them. They don't sound particularly lovely to be around, so...
No, but with the way things go, the way things are going, it's only going to see more.
Well, I'm glad that there's someone in the nation to stand between the people and them. I'm sad to see that it's you. I'm sorry to have brought down the moon. Where was I? Oh yeah, you put me on the ground. Again. I can... Let's, come on. You're teaching me, remember?
Yeah.
And let's do the last one. Oh.
Oh, God. I beat her again.
Did you nat 20 again?
No, but I assume a 22.
Actually,
Really?
because she rolled a natural 19.
Mm.
You are almost like just kind of on your game until you see her again. You know that she's going to try pushing in, and you watch her as she begins to make that step forward, and you instinctively raise the sword upward to block her passage. But as you're watching her left hand, as you think that she's going to do the exact same thing, as you see her winding up again, you're like, okay, she's about to throw from her left hand. You feel the dull thud in your stomach, and you look to see that she has thrown and hit you with the handle of the knife from her right hand. And as it thuds off of your stomach and hits the ground, you just see her almost kind of like fist pump, just yes. And as she just kind of steps back, just looking very pleased with herself. I guess the instructor did teach me some things, even if he was an ass.
I mean, you did well.
You're just not used to trying to correct someone while also fighting them, so I'll take it. I'll take my win when I can get it.
I will think of how. I'll think of how better to teach you next time.
Yeah. And I'll look forward to it.
I'll make sure to let you know when I get back.
Of course. And you keep yourself safe.
I will. You too.
I'm kind of required to be safe. She kind of looks back at the castle.
Fair.
There's a lot of people you got to go through before for me, so long line of people that are a little bit higher on other people's lists than me as well. You got to go through a lot of people before I become important. So don't worry about me, worry about yourself. I'll become important later. You're the one important right now.
Thank you.
Of course. And with that, your training session with Roxy has finished.
I need to do something.
Okay.
I need to go to Tofan's.
Okay. As you step into Tofan's workshop, you actually see this bright flash of red light that you have to kind of cover your eyes with. As it dies down, you can see the Minotaur working still on the second cannon for Rem's carriage. Oh,
What is the second
Hello.
cannon for Rem's carriage? Oh my god.
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I've been busy. It's a busy time.
It sure looks that way.
Yes.
When you find the time, I know you're busy working on a big project for Rem.
For your stuff, yeah.
But when you get a chance,
Mm.
could you maybe like enchant this dagger? I'm gonna pull out the dagger I got in Sabline.
Ah,
Did you make it do like fire damage or something?
oh, just like a elemental reinforcement. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that can be done.
Do you think you could you do lightning?
Yeah, I could do lightning. Lightning when I was running around the nation myself, lightning was kind of my specialty. So, yeah, I could absolutely do lightning.
How much do you think how much would that cost?
Lightning, I believe that would, I will, double check, but just a standard elemental lightning reinforcement wouldn't be too difficult. Pretty sure that would run, downwards of 500-ish gold, but it would be like anywhere between 250 to 500. I just need to find. I haven't looked at any of my logbooks in a long time. I had been kind of just on the same work over and over, you know. But
You know what? I'll put the knife or the dagger on the counter,
Mhm.
and then I'll just give him like 600.
Oh,
Like just whenever you get around to it.
For you, I will try to get around to it sooner than later. So,
I appreciate it.
always a pleasure to do business with your group. Punctual and well-paying.
Oh, thank you. You have a good day.
You have a good day as well. And with that order placed and paid for, you exit.
So I guess I'll just go back to the keep.
Okay. And with that, all 5 of you have mentioned what you are doing. The problem is, on day 4, there's an issue.
What issue?
What do you mean issue?
Come on, man, I'm so close.
Don't worry about you two. You're fine. Suna.
Oh, okay. Good.
Suna.
Yeah, I'm back.
Well, on day 4, you have
Or
day 4. So this is the day after you
Yeah.
have the training session with Rox. You have a kind of general day of working, as besides the day that you were doing training with Roxanne, you were making potions.
Yeah.
And so you've settled down and gone to bed before you feel like this almost prodding sensation on your hand as you're sleeping.
Okay.
And then to that, your hand just kind of flicks, and you can feel this pressure all of a sudden retract in your hand, get dragged just ever so slightly, half an inch, and your eyes wake up. And you look, and in the dark, you can see a small figure at the side of your bed. What do you do?
Hello?
Rem.
Fuck.
Damn.
Damn.
Can I help you?
No, you're good.
What? What do you?
I'm I'm don't worry about it.
I feel like I should be worried about it.
You have no reason to worry about it. As long as you're awake, come here. And I'm gonna check out her eyes so I don't have to wait for her to go back to sleep and peel them open to see what's going on. Just let me look at that.
Did
Is she are you
I don't
cooperating?
know.
yeah, that's did we have to do this now?
As long as you're awake, I might as well.
I wouldn't be awake if you hadn't awoken me.
You wouldn't be awake if you had just stayed still and went back to bed. But as long as
Wow.
you're awake, I might as well finish while I'm here.
Okay. I guess
Okay.
I'll let Rem do his thing
Okay.
and talk about a Jehovah's Witness moment. Fucking hell.
As
I mean, you're welcome to ask what I'm doing here.
I fucking did!
I'm checking on your condition.
And you fucking blew me off.
I'm checking on your condition. Don't worry about it. You didn't worry about it the past 4 days. You don't got to worry about it now.
Yeah, okay.
Am I noticing anything now that she's awake? How are her eyes?
as you look, as I'm not having you roll for that stuff right now, her eyes have almost completely reverted back. As you've been seeing over the couple of days, every time that she's slept, some member of it regresses. She has gotten to the point now where although her pupils are still golden, but the black in her iris has receded completely.
Okay. All right. That's all.
Well, I guess while you're here, do you remember quite a while ago, we were keeping watch and like we kind of talked about my past a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I want to preface this with that I didn't lie to you.
Oh.
But what I told you was wrong. But I didn't know at the time.
Which part exactly was wrong?
The only part that was true was that I grew up an orphan around the temple.
Out of character, I'm
Every-
kind of blanking on exactly what she told me.
I think I told you most things, or I've like let on to most things.
Of Suna being on good terms, but awkward terms with the temple, and then she believed that she ruined the relationship by stealing a scroll.
Ah. Okay.
I guess whatever your greater restoration did, as opposed to the rock, it released something, almost like my memory had been altered. And all of a sudden I remembered being dragged into the temple. And I guess I don't know if they were experiments or if he knew what he was doing. But Gordost and whatever torturous methods he used is the reason I'm the way I am, and not because I stole a spell and tried to cast it, or whatever lie he had fed me.
Sounds like a lot to come to terms with.
Yeah. I guess I'm still not really sure how I feel.
I mean, you
Really
don't have to
kind
feel
of-
any way about it.
I guess not. I don't know. Makes me wonder though. Like, how long he had been doing things like that for. Like, if I was the first one, or
There are other children like you.
yeah.
Whether you were the first or not, dwelling on it won't change. You know?
Yeah.
I still looked into it. You still have some similar masses as to before, but I decided not to deal with them because of what happened last time.
Like, you say they're similar, but you don't think they're the same?
I can't attest to what exactly they are. JC, are they like how similar are they?
They are similar as in their arcane-based blockages. That is the extent you know. You barely knew what you were doing when you dispelled that. You just knew it took something. What you just knew in the moment, you had to restore it. You had to use greater restoration to get rid of it. And so the possibilities are, in the worst way possible, endless about what they could be.
I can't attest to their nature. I can only attest that they are there.
I wonder what. I mean, naturally, I kind of wonder, what they do, or maybe they're just more of the same. I don't know. I guess good to be aware of. I can understand not wanting to deal with those right now.
I don't want to put you through the same thing again.
I mean, it's only if you think it can get worse from here.
I try not to think towards that direction. As it stands, your physical afflictions are receding, and I'm not noticing any growth in the magical afflictions. So, you seem to be in order. As far as altered memories and things of that nature, it doesn't change who you are or what you've become just because you don't remember things exactly the same. As people get older, sometimes their memories become completely different than what they were when they were actually formed. I can understand the doubts it may cast upon you, but I can tell you with certainty that the magical affliction within your head is not there anymore.
Let's hope that was the only important one.
And look into the other ones. It's just that I'm not comfortable dealing with them in the same setting. Maybe Barris will know something.
Yeah, couldn't hurt to ask. Maybe next, when we get back from our trip.
Well, I will let you get some rest.
Are you sure the physical stuff is going away?
It's been receding over the past few days, so yes.
Okay. Someone noticed it yesterday, so I'm glad it's getting better.
It's retreating in time, though I can't attest to what exactly it was or what it may mean for you, but your body seems to be readjusting just fine.
That's good. Thank
It
you
is.
for looking into it.
No problem. You can get some rest.
All right. Have a good night, Rem.
You as well.
And with that, Rem steps out of Suna's room, heads down the stairs of the tower, and into their own room. The rest of the night and next day pass without much other issue. And with that week passed, You guys have made it through 5 days. Congratulations. So, with that week that was set aside so Zex could get their project done and everyone else could kind of settle back in, what lies ahead for you guys?
I think we start with the Hearthman.
I think if
Well,
I
from the
remember
Victim.
correctly, didn't Rem had somewhere special he wanted to go, right?
No.
No?
Not at this moment, no. We're
Okay.
putting some things in the back burner.
Okay. I don't have anything that I can think of.
Pick from.
Pick from it is.
All right. So, you guys got all the preparation you need, I guess.
For now,
For now. So, with the day finished and the new day starting, the 25th of Flame Rule, you all kind of gather up, knowing what is coming. And, Zex, I believe you're the one who's going to take it away.
Yeah, I have the book. Jeremy is coming with us. Now that he's done.
Can't believe you named him Jeremy.
we're not acknowledging that name. You have to call it the Golem and nothing else. If he ever says that name, we have all made a pact to ignore it.
You're welcome to, I guess. But I'll
Never
call it
acknowledge it
what I
by
want.
that name.
Would you like to describe Jeremy?
Jeremy looks exactly like me, except a size class larger.
What the hell is a Jeremy? I don't know what that is.
Straight.
Oh
such a-
my god. It
such
looks
an
just
odd-
like it's just Big Zex.
It's
It's just
big
a very
size.
odd name. I've
I love
never
that.
I've never heard such a name before.
This massive stone Zex. You're taking the golem with you. Okay.
I'm taking the golem with.
Okay. But
I
you,
could take the
Assuming
carriage with me,
that the
but
room is large enough, I've been to the room before.
the
you can go
library,
outside of the room.
if you're going to go into the library in Vic from that the Hearthmen are in, or the bookstore, the front, the bookstore front that they're using does not have a high enough ceiling for the golem, so the golem
Can
would
I-
probably need to be left outside.
Well, I was gonna say, can I attempt to just like teleport right outside the door and then just leave him outside?
Yeah, easily.
Okay, that works.
Okay. So with that, 5 of you are off. As all of you gather around and Zex ushers you across hundreds of miles as you appear at the outside of the High Sands Desert. At the edge, about not the edge of town, but at the edge of the bookstore that you know is doubling as a front for the Hearthmen. The desert air is the immediate opposite of the sea salt air that you guys had become used to the week before, as all of the moisture is immediately beginning to be sucked out of your mouths and through your eyes as you find yourself blinking rapidly. You guys are in Vikram.
Yeah. Breathe on me.
Breathe on me.
It's hot.
Slightly disturbed that it's been more or less uttered and like acknowledged. Gil will lightly cup his hands and give Rem a nice cool down.
like hosing him down with a ice machine.
Exactly.
I wonder if I could get a cooling stone of some sort.
That's all I am. I'm just a big ice machine.
Big ice
Do they
machine.
have cooling? I'm gonna get a cooling stone.
Thing.
I would
As-
imagine.
You guys are outside of the bookstore. Zex, are
Jeremy
you
can
leading
stay
this?
out front with standing orders to smash anything to dust that attacks him.
As he just, both of his arms slam together with this audible crunch as he stands at attention at the door.
What are you gonna do if a kid throws a rock at it?
Don't smash any children to dust, though, please.
Eh,
If in a
The golem
let's-
does
let's
not
change
acknowledge.
the- Hold on.
You can just give it the defend action, and it'll gauge what is like dangerous to it on its own.
That's fair. That's what I'll do. Yeah.
I mean, or you could make a kid smoothie.
or I can make a child.
kid
Child.
smoothie.
No,
All right.
he can just defend himself.
Okay.
No undue harm. No
Und-
undue harm.
Okay.
Extreme harm.
Extreme violence. That is the golem's actual name. Extreme violence. But
Violetta.
the five of you head inside the bookstore. Zex, you recognize the old man behind the counter. As he's just kind of slowly paging through a book, and he looks up, pushing glasses onto his face. Can I help you?
I mean, you recognize me.
Then you can wait as I service these other customers. How can I help all of you?
We're with him.
Oh shit, hello. Okay.
We're his bestest friends in the entire world.
Zex, I believe we told you to not tell people about us.
You also told me that if I felt it was necessary that I had the okay to do so.
Apparently
this
you
point-
felt necessary quite a few times. Hello,
I mean, I
welcome.
could leave and not help you. I can take my legend lore somewhere else.
He just uses his thumb to push the glasses up again as they keep sliding continuously down his nose.
Sweating.
You are welcome to read the lore on yourselves, although legend lores are few and far between. They are not impossible to gauge. Yes, I assume all of you, as you are with him, gestures to Zex, are hunting for legends or information on them, but we have expunged most of our personal information on the legends, and so do you need one of us for interpretation, or is this just a simple gift from other interested parties?
I'm here to provide them to you.
We will take it all. And we will take it in stride. Please, you are welcome to follow me to the restricted section. And he just kind of turns around and opens a door behind the counter and enters.
My insight when I said I'll take my legend lore somewhere else, I know I'm a little late on that.
Sure.
19.
19. As you look at this man's, yeah, he's a little bit surprised by the mention of it, but there is recognition in that look. He knows what you're talking about. And if nothing else, it showed an aura of authority behind why you guys were here. Come on. Come on. It's... I assume you're all here. We're not going to do it in the bookstore.
I'm going.
I'm going through, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. See, kind of goes, Zex, you know this as behind the store there is a small, probably 5 feet of hallway before it dips into a staircase that goes down underneath to this dug out larger area, where there is different, ironically, you've seen it in kind of almost a similar vein to what Temple of the Brine was, of like held scrolls in preserved cases. But those are things that have been collected and that they look through. Everything else is in a separate section where they are bound together in tomes and kept separate of new things that are recorded. As all of you can see this kind of underground stockade of knowledge as you enter. A familiar face greets most of you as kind of looking up this short black hair and almost beginning to kind of get some stubble on his chin. Lixon, the wizard from Greywall, kind of looks up and, you've brought guests. Come take a seat. Time to fill each other in, I guess. We've been making some progress, but not a lot. Going off of your information, Zex. As all of you make your way off of the stairs, you can see the table that he's at has multiple chairs, and as each of you, if you want to, can take a seat, you can see this kind of kettle sitting off to the side. And as Lixon continues talking, he actually grabs it and begins pouring this steaming hot beverage from it. Good news, bad news, I'll say. Good news. We have a little bit more information on what we could expect from the Ascended. Bad news is we have a theory that you might not like. I don't think the 2 Ascended that you guys ran into are going to be the only ones walking around.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
you don't say. Our turn. Our turn. Bad news.
I'm laughing at
Gordost
him.
has regained power and is now roaming
Less-
the earth.
God
Less
damn it.
regained and has been chilling at the Temple of the Brine for, I guess Suna would know longer than how long he was there better than I would.
You can blame me for it.
We also found some additional scrolls while we were there. I'll pull out the 3 scrolls that I had and relay the information that's within them.
You mind if you gestures to the table? We can get copies of them to go over more carefully.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. And Jesus, sorry. Oh my God. That's... You guys have the best or worst luck ever.
Worst.
Worse because God...
We try our best.
God's above. That is terrifying. Best because you guys... Any one of you have single-handedly provided more information to us than we've been able to get over the past 200 years.
Comes next then.
I don't know. We can use this to try and find if there's anyone else out there.
So, So what we know that's out there as of right now is the... Hold on, let me pull up my document. Should have done it earlier. I know I should have. I'm sorry.
Don't be, we're all learning at the same time. It's just you guys seem to learn by experience, which allows you to learn a little bit quicker than the rest of us.
So we know that now Kalung is out, Lackham is out, Gordost is out, Pawcott is out, and Kuta is probably out. So basically everyone except for Solozzi and Zavidnia we know are out.
Wait, I don't remember you saying Kuta was out. That's an...
He was the statue in the Black Knights camp
Okay, that I
mentioned.
We got that confirmed. Right, because you've also seen like perfect representations of all of them. God, you guys are a magnet for this stuff.
He has a
Wanna
copy
trade?
of my book of notes.
Yeah, want to trade?
You want to trade?
Can't seem to
Because I dropped
get away
off
from this
a
stuff.
copy of the book before we went to fight the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So he should know that
We
already.
have the descriptions gone down, but there's a difference between, having a description of them, Zex, and seeing lifelike statues that we think are like divinely made to be perfect copies,
Right.
That city obviously has divine magic working through it. You guys explained how what was it? It was like an avatar, a vessel of cord, was defending it. You don't just place an avatar or a vessel of the gods willy-nilly. Like, obviously, it was supposed to protect that place. It did a bad job of it, but it was supposed to protect that place, which means that it was originally fostered by the deities.
Well, I think it was more... The avatar said stuff about proving ourselves worthy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was less about protecting and more about vetting, I think.
Okay. Minor mistake on my part. Still, you would think that it would be able to, I don't know, somewhat challenge them, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they were, you said that she was Lackham, she was already in there, maybe she was always in there. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of it,
Right. Well, and so what I am figuring as of right now is Kalung was just in that like cavern underneath Tilvium and was completely locked away until the mines hit it.
Yeah. You told me, and he even goes over to this tome and flips it over. He was in the mines of Tilvium, under the control of an aberration.
Yes.
I wish I could talk to that aberration. What, like, I don't know. Like, we know that, like, the Ascended are sealed, are punished, but every single time it seems like the worst ways of sealing or punishing them. Like, ways that they were just bound to get out from.
Mm-hmm. Was it possibly never intended to be permanent?
What, you think it's like a punishment? Like a divine wrath?
Like a penance until they learn their lesson kind of thing, maybe?
Do you really think they learned their lesson?
No, but that might have been the intention.
Okay.
But, like I said, those are the ones we know that are out, and then in one of those scrolls, was something that's labeled as a false prophecy that has linked up fairly well. That being, where is it? That there was one in a tomb underneath.
They were known as false prophets.
False prophets, but the falseness of said prophets doesn't seem to be super correct.
They don't
A
exactly
ruined
seem
woman
to be
in a ruined
liars.
city.
Yeah, they don't seem to be liars.
A man beneath the earth, and one that walks as a man but with a greater stride was the exact
Yep.
wording.
Exactly. And so we're thinking that Lackham was the one who was underground, probably.
The ruined woman in the ruined city.
Mm-hmm. And then we have no idea who the one who walks among us with a longer stride would be.
I mean, how long was you just met one of them, Gordos? You just met another one? How long was he there?
It was his records that we found this, and I doubt he talked about himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time you speak about any of them, they seem like pompous assholes. So,
I mean,
They are.
Rex, why don't
He's-
you use some
I
of that
know.
stuff that you have
What stuff?
to take an extra look around while we talk? You should
oh,
true sight today.
okay, we're not here. And he kind of like almost like cracks his the two fingers on the back of his knuckles, and you can see the room glow this like this deep blue for a second. It's like, if you're worried about divination protection, we're good. Underground, don't talk about it in the bookstore. We work with extremely delicate information that if we get discovered, it will probably be burned to the ground. Now that we know that they're walking around and they don't want people to know about them, we're not taking chances. You guys aren't just like talking about this stuff like it's common knowledge to people, right?
Oops.
no.
Oops.
Why are you saying oops?
Oops. We
Because
did
of the
tell some
dragon
people.
fight.
We did tell a few people. We didn't name any names, but we talked about an otherworldly entity.
Okay. That should keep them safe as long as they think it's just an otherworldly entity, as long as like names aren't known.
No names, just a general vibe.
General vibe, okay. Okay. Judging from the terror and quick check as soon as names started being dropped, you probably have the same suspicion as us that they have some sort of way of knowing when people are talking about them.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, that was a suspicion long ago, and why we've got these protections everywhere. We had multiple places. We had a spot over in Dentor. It's not there anymore. Because it got stormed by the Black Knights. I wasn't there, and I never had been to the Dentor place. I was taken in afterwards to the organization, but I can't imagine how much we lost.
Speaking of the Black Knights,
Yeah.
do you guys have information on them?
On the camps, yeah, the areas you gave us was very helpful. We've dispatched some people to go and check on them.
Any information on those?
There are a lot of duds, unfortunately. The one closest to us in the desert, there was remnants of a camp. Looks to be months, if not like almost half a year old at this point. Abandoned, covered, nothing really there even to speak of. But we know it would have to been them because they don't exactly leave clean footprints. They like making things permanent. And so no person in their right mind would just leave their encampment. So either there just happened to be people who were killed cleanly, without blood, and none of the tents had claw marks or anything on that, or there are people that just, or it was them and they just left all of their useless things there.
Got it.
And no one would just up and leave supplies. The one by Tilvium was somehow worse. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Pinpointed miles. It just, on the map, it just leads you to the base of a mountain.
Anything inside the mountain? Maybe that was like an entry point?
We looked around for an entrance, and there's no way for entrance. We at least I wasn't personally on this one, but they reported scaling the mountain, digging around, looking for different ways to enter it, and all it is solid rock. And you wouldn't believe how much attention just a human and a half-elf would draw to them if they started digging near a dwarf mining town.
My insight is 17. Is he lying to us in any way?
He is not lying. Zex has left Lixen and the Hearthmen alone for a while, so it seems like they've gotten some work done.
Yeah, saving us some time at least.
What about the one in the west?
We have not actually gotten to that one yet. There's only so many of us, and we have to move slowly and carefully. Mind
if we go?
By all means, if you guys seem to get around very quickly, quicker than us, you know, I can't break Kylene's back every time I need to go somewhere, so I'm letting her be a normal person for a bit, telling her that I needed a break from the guild.
She doesn't know.
I wish she did, but you know, even people that you trust with your life, you don't want to put their life at risk.
I understand.
I got a magic slip of paper that I put under her bedpost in the guild that if I stop breathing, it will say sorry to her. So that's what I got. You were about to say something, Zex?
Yeah, so the Mistra thing, I know we figured out that she was connected to the Seven Ascended in some way.
Yeah.
The first time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got more information from this scroll, and I'll point out the list.
Oh, yes.
All of the 7 were champions of Mistra at one point.
Huh. As he looks, he's like, interesting to see him mixed up with them.
Him?
Yeah. He points to the name at the top.
The first name?
Yeah.
Azuth?
Can I try to religion check that again?
He's about to give it to you,
Tell
but
me.
yeah, you're welcome to if you want to.
Oh, but I'm gonna do it again anyway. Can't wait to nat one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
14 is the total. But
Okay.
let him tell us.
14, and this is the things like as he's saying it, you're like, oh my god, of course. Azuth is a deity. He's the first wizard. He's yeah. I knew that he was originally given his first wizard status by Mistra, but I didn't know that he counted as a. I mean, it would make sense. Yeah, and he takes this other book and kind of pushes it. And he begins to flip through. And you can see this catalog of deities as he flips it open, and he's like, okay, Azuth, known as the deity of wizards. His general domain is arcana and knowledge, and as he flips it around and shows it to you, the symbol for it is a left hand pointing upwards wreathed in flame.
A left hand pointing upward, wreathed in flame?
Yeah.
Is that not similar to the first symbol on the amulet?
Coincidentally, I would think, because the first symbol is just a flame. There's no hand involved. I mean, it's worth thinking about, but Azuth is... I mean, as far as we know, Azuth was one of the people that, you know, a very helpful and one of the first god to not be a god at the start. Wait a second. That's
a good connection.
That's not a bad one. As he just kind of writes that down and begins to kind of scribble a note, he's like, okay. The thing that I'm not getting, though, yes, he's included in here. Yes, it paints a connection between them and the Ascended, but he's seen in history as a good person, a benevolent deity. So were they trying to mirror him, maybe? Is there something else going on?
Maybe trying to recreate it? Well, his symbol is a hand, right?
Yeah, a hand pointing upward, wreathed in flame.
Could he be connected to the caretaker of sin in some way?
I don't know. We were having trouble with Mistra, but Mistra is an open book compared to the caretaker of sin. There is nothing relating to that name. Past probably 100 years. The caretaker of sin is a name that has been not discussed at all at any length, and so any information that came from that was truly wiped out. It's a blank slate with nothing to write with.
So that's the first thing I should look into today, huh?
I guess.
Lixon, what kind of caster are you?
I am skilled in divination, specifically, of looking slightly forward. I actually have trained my magic to be kind of ever present, so I can see things approximately 2.3 seconds before they happen.
Why don't you know legend lore?
Well, I do, but from my perspective, I'm going to double check
to look ahead instead of back.
It does. Or does he?
Would make sense for a divination wizard to know legend lore.
Well,
A man that wants to know all the ancient secrets doesn't have legend lore?
I do have to check his level real quick. Lixon's
He
not
only needs to be 9th level.
Lixon's not that high a level.
He only has to be 9th. It's a 5th level spell.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm checking.
How can he see 2.3 seconds in the future? It's flavor text, baby. He's got an artifact.
He does not have an artifact, but he can see slightly ahead.
It's the vibrating beads of the chess master. It helps him see
Oh my God, I'm
2.3
gonna
seconds into the future.
destroy you. No, I have some experience with it. It is a bit of a higher class magic.
One that you can't do.
One that I haven't done a lot.
But you
Also,
can.
yes.
Okay.
I have done it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fool and to think that it wouldn't help. When you're learning about legends, learning as much as you can, forward or backward, is important. But you have to. The more specific you are, the more specific the lore that you receive. And so, yes, we get general things. Such beings, the second a new name came up, legend lored their name. The Caretaker of Sin, of what I've found out and what you're likely to find out if you lore them with nothing else, is that they are the thread for the Ascended. And
But we have more, don't we? The information that, like, the Caretaker of Sin is one connected to Mistra. The hands of Mistra betrayed her is the origins of the Caretaker of Sin. We got that information as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's new stuff. That is new stuff. I don't know.
I mean, that's how much you got as a side observer. How much would I have gotten having maybe met them?
Again, it's unknowable for me. It's all hypothetical. It's all.
We also found this thing, and I'm gonna point towards Suna's shoulders.
Kind of like emphasize the shoulders, I guess.
As you feel, to emphasize, you feel, and everyone else watches the metal shift into the actual mantle in points, and you can see Lixon just kind of almost flinch a little bit. Oh.
Oh, that information was in the scrolls too about the mantle, right?
Yeah, it was.
According to Gordost, this is the same mantle left at
Mistra's
The-
mantle.
The mantle
the
of
feet
Mistra
of Mistra's statue.
and Dentor.
So I don't have to know much to know that that's probably one of the most powerful pieces of equipment on this plane.
It might not be the most powerful piece of equipment in this room.
Zex is giving me some information. I'm not any. Just kind of pauses for a second and steeples his hands before his eyes close and then open up again blue. I can take a bit of a guess of who has what. Although not much has been said about that sword kind of nodding towards Gil or that shield. So kind of in the dark about those, but you can still audible with sensory magic. It's like a furnace. It's just coming in. Gordost had that?
One of his lackeys had it. One of a clergywoman he had tricked into working for him.
We
So
should
not-
say, yeah.
Not him as Gordost. He was pretending to be a half elf named Father Limrin. Half elf, is that right?
Yeah, half elven man. Oh, shit. Oh my god, I feel like we're making good progress in our research, and then you guys come in and Oh boy, we have a lot
We
of
tend
things.
to have that effect.
We have a lot of things to rework. Yeah. So, oh boy. Look, I think the important thing to realize right now is whatever happens next, the Black Knights and the Ascended might be a full 2 steps ahead of myself and my peers, but they only appear to be at most a step, maybe even just a half step ahead of you guys. We just need to find a way to let you guys break out into a sprint, so to speak. It feels like we're right on their heels.
I'm of the mind these days that whether we're on their heels or not, what are we supposed to do?
You guys
Kill
have
them somehow?
I don't know. They were.
So the thing is, we don't know either.
Major faux deities, and even if someone isn't actually a deity, if they have enough power to claim to be a deity, that's a damn powerful person. And so I'm sure the sorry souls that had to deal with them, sorry to kind of imply that on you, weren't able to kill them, I guess, had to lock them up. From what Zex has told me, these almost like arcanely powered chains on Pakot, just an entire being's soul and an artifact being used to contain one of their peons in the Feywild, in another plane. All of these, it's disturbing to say the least, but yeah, you're right. I'm not sure if at the very least, although you guys are extremely trained and extremely gifted, I don't know if that's going to be enough at the moment. A plan is definitely needed if when something happens.
It's why I asked the question, why don't we look into this caretaker sin individual and find out exactly what sealed them all that time ago? As far as we're aware, it said that the gods punished them or something of that nature, correct?
Yeah, so this was the gods, the gods standing. So there's a lot of holes in this part, which is what makes it difficult. We know that before all of this, the gods had a much larger influence on the world. So much so as almost like they were leading us around hand in hand. And then after this event, the gods left. Their influence has been diminished to what they can do today. And even from some records, more so. This is where the Age of Silence came from. No gods, no magic, for most people. And so the divide is, you would think that the gods are fighting these people, but that's not what we've gotten from Zex. It's not what we've gotten from the information-wise from all of you. People. That girl she looked human or elven or something like that, you said? And that is not someone who is asking to be released, let their soul be at rest. That is not a deity. That's someone who walked the material plane like the rest of us. So there's this disconnect that we're still trying to piece together of why weren't the gods the one throwing the punches. And so that, even though that causes an issue, it leaves a little bit of glimmer of hope, because that means that mortals can stop this. because they've done it before. We just need to find out how.
Is it possible Mistra didn't allow the gods to directly intervene?
That's possible.
The timeline on this, maybe the Ascended were doing something, and for a time, Mistra was okay with it, and she thought it was the right thing to do, which prevented them from being stopped by the gods. But when they betrayed Mistra, they were in some way able to launch forward the inability for the gods to do things as direct as they could have. Is it possible that Mistra initially agreed with whatever they were doing and only later was dethroned in the aspect, but it had been too late for the gods to intervene at that point because she was holding them back?
I mean, maybe?
If not something of that nature, how would it be possible for the gods to not have any direct influence? I have convened with my god and felt her direct influence in the world. It's not quite hand in hand, but
I mean,
it's close.
If any god could stop the other god's influence through divine means, it would be the tender of the weave. It's definitely possible, and the one thing that could surefire hold off the gods is another god.
Maybe. Is it possible if the other gods themselves kind of decommissioned Mistra for her influence instead of the Ascended themselves?
I don't know.
Is that potentially why they weren't able to stop the Ascended themselves? Because they were stopping Mistra?
It could be. It would make sense.
Was Mistra the actual traitor the entire time?
Because if Mistra, if Mistra was put out of action, the tender to the weave, the gods' influence would be stricken from the world. And so that would explain why they were barred from interfering. Even technically more so than now. That would describe it all, but how involved was Mistra?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the validity of any of this. I didn't become interested in the story entirely until a few weeks ago. But I'm just guessing here, based upon what we know. It says her hands betrayed her, but how would her champions dethrone her themselves? I'm saying it's possible that she was in on something, and by them saying they betrayed her, they did something that she couldn't cover up for them, and she was punished for it.
And then to save face.
It was all thrown on the Ascended as if they did something wrong, instead of Mistra violating some divine law.
There's been a lot of theories and recorded in these past hundreds of years, but that is a new one.
The most ridiculous?
That is a new one. I'm not saying ridiculous. I can't throw anything out. We're dealing with self-proclaimed gods, you know? Anything's possible. But we have a place to start, and we have a new way to go.
With legend lore, is it possible that the seal of the Ascended could be in some way considered an actual object, and I could find out something out with it?
Maybe?
Instead of the seal being an event, it is an object or even a place of some kind?
Maybe? I mean, would the lost city count as that?
It wasn't keeping them there entirely. Blackham seemed to enjoy her time there.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems to be the place she enjoyed being.
So Well, they also... There's no way that they were sealed all in the same place either. And according to you all, they not all, like, barely any of them are sealed anymore. Maybe none of them are sealed anymore.
The other ones haven't moved. It's possible that
Maybe you're just focusing on certain ones and other ones are getting in legwork underneath you. Underneath all of us.
what was Solosi's her name?
Solozzi,
Losey is the guy.
Solozzi, yeah. Solozzi was, Solozzi the Unmoving written in here. I mean, if anything indicates that they can't move, that would be one. Although the titles don't exactly seem to be in poor taste.
The other one, Vidnia, the Resentful.
Yeah. Those are the two unknowns. Nothing known, really. General theory on Zavidnia, because you found lieutenants of her in the Feywild, she might be in there somewhere herself. But, you know, it's a possibility, but why would you keep all of your eggs in the same basket? I don't know. What should the, I guess, what should the game plan be? Should we... Obviously, it sounds like you five want to go check out that last marker on the map.
I say we transition from fighting to sealing and see what we can find.
Okay. All right.
That's just my opinion on it. And if the seal comes to be something untenable, then we
You're going to have to fight
kind
them to
of-
seal them.
figure something else out.
That being said, if you happen to have any information on weapons of similar powers to what we have going on, if you happen to hear anything about something like that, it'd be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that a lot of weapons come in and out of power. Probably the most recognizable is the Hand of the Chieftain. Everyone knows kind of where that is, and it's just because of the allure, the appeal that it's had, serving at the forefront of the nation. It's wild for how ridiculously powerful some artifacts are. They slip out of everyone's grasp so easily.
I found mine sealed down there with Pawcott. It was in use by the people down there with him.
Okay. All right. That means there's two powerful items that have been found next to them. The mantle and the shield. Maybe they're playing a bit defensive, but you've never seen one of them use it.
We've never seen them use an item that we found near them.
Especially...
Yes. Lackham has her trinket, doesn't she?
I don't know what it would be.
It's a tome.
I haven't.
She,
You guys
she
met her more than
carries
I
the
did.
tome around on her hip, doesn't she?
She has...
As long as it's not locked in her room, I think.
Like it wasn't in her room.
It wasn't in her room, but the Lackham... when you met Lackham in both the Scattered Woods and in the Lost City, she did not have a tome on her.
She didn't.
She did not.
The only item we know is currently in their possession is the pipe. Yes?
Okay.
Because Lackham has it.
Well, I mean, that goes to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the the sword that you related to, the Garistro, kind of exploded. So
It was his punishment area that made that sword.
Yeah.
It was not his trinket that did that. He was that item. He attempted to go into that area, and it punished him.
No.
How else would it happen to him like that then?
The rooms. Well, hold on.
It was made to
Jacob,
punish
I gotta
them,
DM you to make sure this is correct.
to prevent them
but I
from
know
getting
that's
that
what-
particular thing, right?
yeah, but that's not unless if he had, which
There's
is
also the thing of
almost
most of those
scarier.
rooms were empty.
Most of the you reported most of them being empty, but then unless if somehow he was already out, which is terrifying to think of in itself, he went there, got turned into the sword from the room, and then was taken out of the room by something and placed in Tilvium. I don't know, it doesn't seem easy.
You could ask the guy that maybe brought the item there and ask him where he got it from.
The guy who brought it?
So,
You know a guy?
here's what we know. Here's what we know about the rooms in the temple, were that those were lesser versions of the punishments that were fully inflicted on the seven. So, like, Kalung's room turned people into swords. Kalung was turned into his sword as his punishment. Okay? Lackam's room made me dumb. We can assume that Lackam's punishment was probably a similar form to a much greater extreme. And for a much longer time.
Okay.
So it would be assumed that Kalung didn't go to the tomb, try and get his trinket, and then was brought back to Tilvium. I would more quickly assume that he was just put into that sword form as his punishment, and then placed in whatever
But we can
dungeon was
also
down there.
try to find out how he got there.
Right.
I mean,
So-
if you guys have leads, by all means, take them.
We asked the man that took things to that area.
We don't know who brought the sword down there.
We know a guy that took things to that area, though.
I'm not
You do?
following.
Yes. We remember we met a changeling named Thinhelm
Ah,
that was taking things to
that
the
would be
lair.
good.
He
You
could have
guys
took
had
the
a
sword.
That's a good
changeling.
one.
We met
You
a
buried
change.
that lead.
We fought a war.
Oh my gosh.
See, no one remembers, but we know a guy that
I
took
am
things there.
legally not allowed to remember.
I believe I've been taken by the NDA.
Mm-hmm.
They removed those memories from my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we did know a guy that was taking things there and may know a bit more. We could ask him how that sword got there.
All right, that's another good start.
Um,
Well,
so you said there was a Black Knight camp out in the Black Knight camp out in the desert completely buried. Is there anything in the surrounding area?
I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. It's the desert.
The Baristro went into the desert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before Zex had remarked on his theory that the greaser was going there. And so I don't know. The fact is there isn't anything left at that camp.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing worthwhile is there within like days of travel. And everything that is there is just like, like fishing town, shanty town, Vic from itself. There's the Kobold Run, like, tribal town that's like 10, 20 miles outside of Dacaria, but by that time you're more north than anything else.
Right.
Briardale, which is a dragonborn town, but again, that's more north than anything else. Yeah, no, it was a dead end.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Got my legend lore for the day, though.
you did.
I have one for today that I can use now. We can kind of pick and choose what direction we want to go. What do we want to know about?
So the question would be, do we want information on one that we don't have very much on? Or do we want more information on one that we know more on now?
The spell gets better the more you know.
Right.
So theoretically, I would get the most information using it based upon Lackham, who we have the most knowledge and most experience with.
Right.
There's also the idea of using it on Mistra and hoping I gain something outside of what I already know about her. I could use it on the Caretaker of Sin and hope that I know more than Lixin and get something of value. Or there's the crapshoot of the Seal of the Ascended being an object or place and getting something from that.
I would say probably Lackham.
What more do we have to gain from Lackham is the thing, though.
Right.
I don't think it's worth it for her.
That's a good thing. I'd say if you already think you know, like, I would say either go wide or go precise, and it sounds like you either have the supreme wide of the Seal or the supreme close of Lackham. If you don't already know all there is to know about her,
I feel there's nothing more to learn about her. What else would be gained by learning about explicitly her?
I don't know. That's the one where you probably still
my
know where they
personal
are.
preference.
If they're still down there.
They left after they obtained the pipe.
Okay.
We don't know where they are now, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many places for her to hide. She's not traipsing through the woods.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I mean, she was, though.
But she's not anymore. She went there for a purpose. She has what she needs. She's not going to walk around the woods now.
Right.
She's
She'd
either
have a
looking or
place.
making her way towards something.
That's the problem when people have their own objectives. You don't know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it more or less keeps you out of the direct line of sight, but apparently not by much.
I guess if you don't think you can learn much about Lackham,
I
try
vote to
the
do Caretaker of Sin or the Seal of the Ascendant.
try the seal.
Everyone in an agreement here?
Sure.
I'm gonna use the 5th level spell and the components. Cast Legend Lore with the phrase the Seal of the Ascended.
Okay. I'm gonna forewarning to people because I may be playing gods, but I do not have the mind of a god yet. This will not rhyme because I'm
It don't gotta rhyme.
but I wanted it to rhyme.
It doesn't have to rhyme.
Let me the magic's thinking.
I gotta wait for the magic
the
Chrome
magic-
tab to
Yeah,
load.
it's loading right now.
Take
Because
your time.
it's not gonna fizzle. Yeah, you guys are welcome to talk.
So that means if it's not fizzling, that means the seal of the Ascended is a
Is an
place,
actual thing.
person, or object.
So it's
Mhm.
buffering.
Yeah, it's buffering. How do you feel about my idea that Mystra was in on it? She was punished by the other gods.
My only issue with that theory is that it says that Mister was betrayed, right?
But that's what was
So-
cut down, is the thing. How would
So-
her champions actually betray her? What would that entail? And how would
So-
they betray her to do that?
I don't know. All I can say is I know for a fact that information is correct.
It sounds to me, the theory sounds like it's removing blame.
The issue is it came from a source that I'm almost 100% certain could not be like lying to me.
I mean, shit, the seal of the Ascended actually working? Ooh, baby. This was my greatest idea yet.
Can we press refresh?
No, you have to let it go all the way through. If you press refresh,
Oh, I
it
have to
starts from
erase
the
it now.
beginning.
Okay. I'm
Oh fuck!
see, you gotta leave the tab alone.
all right. I got a
My
whole
bad.
new batch now. There we go.
Oh
there it
no,
goes.
see, don't touch the magic computer. It's loaded. It's like, what service do you have? It's like, I'm using fucking dial-up. And it's like, Rem, why do you have dial-up? It's like, because I think it's a reputable form of internet communication. How do you watch videos on this? What's a video? Rem, you fucking suck. It's not my fault. You've gotten too used to the conventions of the modern era. It takes
All
a
right.
second.
You guys ready for the shittiest limerick?
Yeah, what do you
Oh
got?
my
All right.
god, you made a limerick? Can we get a haiku?
I almost made it a haiku, but I wanted an additional line or two in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what Rem gets back, and as it goes, you watch as the incense crumbles, and the ivy begins to just shake as all of you feel more than hear. Everyone present in the room, made only to be dashed, powered by life, the cover of death, sealed by the earth, forgotten by gods, tread on by man.
Huh?
One more time, a
Could
little
we get
slower.
that posted in the D&D chat?
I have it
Yeah.
on a post-it note. Oh, that's also fucking invisible. That's dope. Hell yeah. Made only to be dashed, powered by life, the cover of death, sealed by the earth, forgotten by gods, tread on by man. And I'll keep that right there.
Okay, I've got dashed, powered by life, the cover of death, sealed by earth, forgotten by gods.
Forgotten by gods, tread on by man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was more than I was expecting. As everyone present in the room had that put into their mind.
This could just be. Well, if it was the Lost City, I would have gotten more than this, right? Because I know what the Lost City is.
That's
Because it gets more specific the more you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the Lost City. Or I would have gotten a little bit more than just this loose limerick.
Just in my mind, it just means there's another thing to worry about now.
But if we can go look at this original seal, we might learn something.
So if it's a location,
It has to be it could be a place.
if it's a place, I can scry something I've heard about.
You could try.
I could try.
Does this count as having heard about it?
I mean, he quite literally did just hear about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this was just like a loose assortment. If I'm like, they have potatoes, that doesn't count
They
as hearing
have
about a
potatoes.
particular Walmart.
That's true. That is true.
But potatoes is an object, not a place.
Scrying just says you can see and hear a particular creature.
You can go
Instead
for
of targeting
a
a
place.
creature, you can choose location. Okay. You have seen before, not
Ah,
heard.
Crap.
You
You could
dirty,
Wow.
dirty
teleport
boy.
there.
You dirty
Oh.
man.
You could teleport there.
Yeah, that would go over well.
I've had pretty fucking good luck with
What are
teleports,
what are the optics on that?
Interesting. Interesting to say the least.
What would it be? It's description.
It would be it would be more close to heard of.
For teleportation?
Yeah.
Description besides false destination is the lowest.
As close
on
as
the
it
chart.
gets.
Okay, well.
Would
Wait. Are you guys actually about to teleport?
No, not the optics on this.
I have to
Just
go
say-
get Jeremy first, at least.
I'm just saying, I'm not going.
Come on.
Oh, fuck no.
It'll be fun.
No, absolutely not.
Bye, Zex. Have fun.
Wasn't the whole point to get information?
I got enough information today. I have now determined that the Seal of the Ascended is a place or thing. That's more than we had before.
Yeah,
That
I
is quite a
guess.
hefty clue in my mind.
so do you want to try the city the next time you're available?
I could try the Seal of the Ascended again and try to get something else.
Or what about the city?
I could try and see what get more lore on the city. But that was Cord's city. I think the seal underneath was an add-on. Or
Well, what,
the Temple
what
of
did-
Cord knows something and they're
what
hiding
did-
it from us.
Who said it? I know someone said it. I need to. Okay, hold on.
We could have asked the Temple of Cord if they knew anything about the Lost City, since it, is theirs.
This is in my brain. I sent you another DM.
I cannot recall that off the top of my head. I apologize.
Oh, it was in. It was in game though. Yes,
I think so.
I think. Oh, give me a sec.
This I can't have every minor detail. I apologize.
I know.
I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my
I am
damnedest.
one man making limericks.
I
Man, I
am
wish I could help you with this.
Yeah, sure wish I could give you an idea of what I remember, but I'm not allowed to remember.
Zuna just has everything on lock.
Well, let me legend lore you some bitches.
I think I'm doing just fine, thanks.
Never forget, stuck in Suna's room for a solid week unpunished.
Absolutely.
Why did
Unfucking
that-
punished.
Why did you just roll really shitty that night?
Yeah, and that one night.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind, if I did anything but nat 1, you would have known nothing.
I will
Yeah,
be right back.
I will be right here.
I like my Mistrickiary.
It's not a bad.
I like it. For
Not a-
someone that's not interested in the plot line, I like it.
I mean, yeah, I can believe it. I don't, but I could.
And Lixon's talking about teleporting around. Isn't teleportation circle a 5th level spell?
Yeah, but he doesn't have teleportation circle to go to like the random campsites. That would be, you know,
But he can teleport.
Yeah. That's kind of what he and Kylene were doing. She went through tree, she basically tree teleported, and then he brought them back. And so they could do stuff within the same day. It also
He's literally in the trees.
Yeah, he was in the trees. He's very used to it.
So, Lixon does not know anything about more artifacts.
Not current stuff about artifacts. No.
Not currently. Okay.
Not to the level of what we have in our possession.
No.
All right.
I love how this legend lore was like almost going to be a complete waste of time.
Okay, so the piece of said information is that the lost city was a sacrifice for something. I cannot remember for the life of me who said it, but I remember it was told to us.
Okay.
A false memory's still a memory. You can bring that up. Whether it's right or not.
I am bringing it up in game. I just
So-
don't. I can't for the life of me remember who said it.
Can I make a history check?
Let's,
If the DM even remembers this
I
statement?
hate to say it,
that's
but Jacob
what I was
doesn't
saying. I was
remember.
just like, I can't remember that off the top of my head.
Let me check my notes.
This dragging up from an old time.
Who
Let
said it?
me dig.
Was it?
What
Was
it?
it?
Taking notes back
Was it
then?
the dragon?
It was either, there are two possible candidates, or three, but I do not think it was the Vessel of Cord. It
It's
was
like-
either the dragon or it was Lackham herself. The only other person who could have remotely possibly said it was the Avatar of Cord, but I do not think that it was that.
That piece of information is accurate, though. Yeah.
That you've heard it? Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Okay.
I just don't
So
remember
we
from
don't
my
know
head.
what a sacrifice for, though.
Well, we were told it was sacrificed to defeat the Ascended. I think it was the dragon. I'm pretty sure it was the dragon.
A
Ah.
sacrifice to defeat the Ascended.
Yeah, like I think. So then maybe the city is the seal if that's the case.
I would have learned more because I've been in the city. I know about the city.
But the seal of the Ascended is not the same as saying the lost city of prosperity. You
But
know?
if it's the same thing, if they are the same thing, I would gain the knowledge if I had used either. I would have learned more.
Not necessarily.
Is the seal of the Ascended, as in the collection of their symbols, different from their magical seal? Is that not a possibility?
I'm just trying to find at what point in time did we go to the fucking city?
A long time ago.
Did we go to the city?
Yeah, like was it before or after the vampire shit?
It was after the vampire
After.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know, because
It was after.
It was after.
100% was after.
100% because vampires was Flora, I believe.
We
And
did it, yeah, because we did the vampires, and then the royal family was like, "Yo, you guys are fucking involved with us now.
Here's some
Will
tabs.
you
What?
go
Are
to
you sure?
okay,
will you
I
go
have
to
I have it.
Diccaria?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll do that. Also, can we check on this other thing while we're
Yep.
doing that?"
Yep.
Okay, I have it.
The timeline. The ever precious
What do you have?
He's got it.
I was reading through Celestia and I learned about something called the Beacon of Prosperity. The Guardian tells us we need to prove ourselves. We encountered the staircase made of glass. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm looking through that. I've got my... and then it just takes us straight into the Feywild. I go straight to the Feywild from that.
Not a lot of Lackham notes. That's all right.
So we know it was said, just not by who.
Yeah. It's either said by Lackham or by the dragon.
I mean,
So if the city was the sacrifice, is it like the land, like the space that it occupied, or does that include the people that lived there?
Right.
I wouldn't feel good about sacrificing a whole city's worth of people.
I mean, it could. I could legend lore again.
Do you have the incense for it right now?
You're gonna have to go and get them.
I don't have the money to do that.
I paid for the last ones, and I'm getting that money back from you anyway.
I literally do not have 250 gold pieces.
Oh, you're paying for the ivory too, loser. What the fuck are you talking about?
So, can we get some here, or do we have to go back to Greywall to get some?
You could probably find some here.
Vixen, do you know where we can find some?
Yeah, there's just general cellars around the town. Incense is popular here, not for arcane reasons, but yeah, no, you can get some.
How much do you need, Rem?
250 gold's worth.
I will be right back. I will go find some incense
Okay.
and buy some.
You're able to do that. We're good of just fast forwarding to when you're
Can
back.
I just buy like so so 500.
Yeah,
So we have 2 uses.
two more charges.
Well, I'm gonna do that.
I don't think Rem has the spell slots for 2 more, but
Yeah, I
it'll
do.
be good for the rest.
Yeah, I do.
Oh boy.
I can do this 4 more times.
Oh boy. All right, but for the sake of expediency, Suna's back with 2 bundles of incense.
Okay. I'm doing this again. What are we doing this time?
The city, I guess. Unless someone else has a better idea. I'll take that as a no. City of Prosperity.
Make your choices. Do I have the original name of the city before it was known as the Lost City?
Just the City of Prosperity.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, let me check my notes real quick. I think all we have is the City of Prosperity. But I'm gonna double check to make sure it wasn't in that list of names. So what names do I have? Volrund is Dentor, Trascent is Lancos, and Dolrock is Dikaria. Nope.
Okay. So we're doing it with the City of Prosperity then. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll let the dial-up internet work for a second. I'll use legend lore with the City of Prosperity.
Okay.
And it is relevant based upon everything I currently know. And I've been there in it multiple times. I hate that place.
Yeah, it's not a nice
Can't
place.
have shit in Detroit.
Yeah.
Bad place.
A city to fall, crushing dreams, modeled in death to how it preserved life. A monumental monument. Would you like a repeat?
City to fall, crushing dreams.
A city to fall, crushing dreams, modeled in death to how it preserved life. A monumental monument.
Okay.
Alright. Doesn't give us a whole lot more to go off of.
Yeah, the problem when things are vague is normally they need context.
The one thing we lack.
So even with all the information I have about the city, that's as precise as I can get. Which was things I already knew.
It's gaining insight into just the general legend of it, as I'll double check to you to make sure I'm not cheating you out of anything, but
Because we knew these things.
Mm-hmm.
a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named.
That is more specific.
It
the more
might
we
consist
know
of
about
current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't get the same information I had back.
I mean, this is inference that can come to you out of it. There might not be too much more to learn about the Lost City.
Well, then that's not the seal, then. I didn't even get secret lore. I didn't even know that Martha's cheating on her ye old husband. None of that. Damn.
And all the way back when.
the way back then. Neil Face
5,000
Martha
years ago at
was
this
cheating
spot.
on Patrick.
At this spot,
This exact spot.
a man named Marcus Aurelius cheated on his math test before there was even math.
You know what? We would take that information and run with it. Like, Lackum's bad at math. Give her some high quality equations, and she's like, "Oh shit, y equals mx plus." The disintegrate goes off.
Fair enough.
Lixon,
Yeah.
did you tell us everything that was in your notes about Azuth?
Azuth, well, it's not, he was never really in the notes, just offhand knowledge of what I know about him. He's one of the deities. He's, I mean, let me just kind of list off his trivia if you want me to. He is, the first of the gods that were not originally gods. He became one quickly enough, like, before it became something that was widely attainable, and so he is still put into the main pantheon. So there are major deities and minor deities. Major deities are the deities that have always been there, plus him. He is the exception to the rule. But Chantia, Helm, Bahamut, Mechaliki, Mistra herself, soon Talona, Cord, Umberly, these are all deities that were major. They are the major deitrific powers. And then there are other deities that, from one way or another, some lost to history, others recorded, became deities after, and those are the minor deities, as they are normally working in accordance with another deity. Some of them work on their own. Vandra, I believe, is a prime example of escalation of wars in the Elven nation, and a god coming up to quell that. But
What name did you just say?
Vandra, I believe.
Okay. I mean,
You
I
okay?
could ask a god.
About what specifically? About Azuth?
3 yes or no questions.
About what, though?
3 yes or no questions.
That does not answer my question, even a little.
Did the ascended dethrone Mistra?
Yes or no?
Oh.
Yes or no?
Oh.
Did the ascended cause the age of silence? Yes or no?
Is Azuth related to the
Is
character
Azuth a
in-
traitor? Yes or no?
Understand now.
Now, since mine is a bit more of a minor deity, and I'm saying this with some venom, just a touch. I want him to pick up on it.
It's not hard.
I can ask tomorrow 3 yes or no questions that I may or may not get an answer to. It might be outside of her scope. I've heard that the Lady of Grief is newer than others. And I'm going to insight check him as he hears the name of Lady of Grief.
Yeah, there's recognition in his face.
25.
He knows.
I'll ask him, do you think she might know something about this?
I'm I mean,
She sent me towards where Pawcott was. She knew something was down there.
I mean,
He was an irrelevant piece,
all-
but she be there.
all deities, regardless of which side of the pantheon they fall on, all came before the Age of Silence. It is entirely possible.
I find it hard to believe you've never had a member of the cloth in your midst enough to do these things for you.
A lot of them get pissed off.
Oh yeah, the entire situation has had me very pissed off. I'm on the side that the Ascended are heretics.
Yeah, on that note, generally when religious people join our ranks, they don't last long, and it's because they try to rush into things. So I know that you guys it is rich saying it to you guys, but don't go looking for trouble.
The only thing we were going to go looking for was an artifact.
Yeah, and who normally who you got a bit 50-50 on where those artifacts ended up with. Yeah. So just be careful.
So
I'm still gonna wish
I
you
guess-
happy hunting, but
I mean, we can stay here for another day, and then today I can do one more legend lore, and then tomorrow I'll ask those 3 yes or no questions.
I mean, if that's what you feel is necessary, then yeah, but
I'm asking what you want as a seeker of knowledge.
okay. As a seeker of knowledge, and kind of the person who has been placed in charge of you guys specifically, of discussing knowledge and discussing all of that, tactics and such, I would say the best way for us to move forward and get something new out of this is for one to tie up loose ends. And for that, the best thing you can do for us is just check, I decide if you are checking out that the final mark on the map, check it out, and just report back. You can even just send to me a quick message on what it is. Other than that, honestly, I feel like you guys just naturally doing your thing is gonna somehow get us more information than our research can ever. So
Our presence alone is going to piss
How
them off.
lucky of us.
I mean, no one seems to piss them off quite as much as you guys do.
Well, we try
As I
our
said
best.
earlier, you want to trade?
Isn't that just the best case scenario?
You want to trade?
I mean, I would
You want to come along for this one?
I would say I would, but that would be disingenuous. We're protective, we're good, and I know that people end up dead. I'm trying to avoid that, as the assistant records keeper of this outpost.
Guess the outpost is the last thing we'll do then.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it all works out.
We can do that tomorrow.
Okay.
So
My,
you do know about Azu.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to help you with that. Name kind of came out of left field for me personally, but
Would it be worth legend loring Azu?
I think I'll just get a bunch of generic things. I don't think it'll point us in an actual direction. I was going to try the Caretaker of Sin.
I mean, Swinging Wide's helped you so far.
I'd be content with trying either one.
Let's do the Caretaker of Sin. My 6th level spell, if that makes anything different, is centered on the being known as the Caretaker of Sin.
As buffer sound, the Windows dial-up. I just imagine Rem's eyes just kind of cloud over, and you hear the Windows dial-up sound.
I just like lean back in that like exercise thing, and I just start making like fax machine dial-up noise. It's just They're like, oh god, throw a blanket over them.
I guess that.
Look at me, I am the lore man.
Are indeed.
But I mean, now I can use some divine powers to get us some more knowledge. Does Lixon follow a deity?
I personally, no, I don't directly follow anything. No. You know, just general close contact with a couple, but not really. Agma is kind of the go-to, I guess. He's the one that hasn't led me wrong, I guess.
So even if I gave you the ability to use commune, it wouldn't do anything for you.
I mean, Agma is the god of knowledge, so...
It's your deity.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be something that you follow.
I don't necessarily follow him. I just, like, you know, it's kind of like subscribing to the magazine, you know? Yeah, I'm not a...
What the hell is a magazine?
It's this new kind of like, you know how so in Vikram they've got these papers that run around.
Is it like a manga?
You know, that one's a new word to me, but basically in Vikram, like the heat kind of gets to and actually dries out the papers a lot, and so they applied this kind of like coating to
Lacquer?
it. Kind of, and then it's so it doesn't burn up in the heat so much if someone leaves it out, because, you know, just if someone goes out of town or someone goes on a journey, that's like a couple months of paper gumming up, and that's a fire hazard. So
I love how like actually in game, the place we would find a magazine would be this place.
yeah.
I also love the interaction of Rem doesn't know what a magazine is, but knows what manga is. And she's like, we've been warning you about legend lore for about a year.
You think I'm gonna have the exact things written?
I think, well, it is the thing of, we may have learned a thing along the way and it might change, like, oh fuck, they know all of this now. Like, the Lost City was really quick, and it's like, because we already had all that, and you're like, yeah, there's nothing else here. I don't know if you read it, but I also want my legend lore voice to be Dolly Parton. But
I'm a terrible impersonator.
I don't need. I just want everyone to know that it's Dolly Parton.
I could try.
I don't want you to.
Sean Connery.
I don't know who Sean Connery is.
You don't know who Sean Connery is?
I recognize the name. I couldn't tell you who he is. Is he the guy that plays like
James
Professor
Bond?
X? Oh, that guy. No. Well, yeah, I know who he is. I just didn't know his name.
Fred's in the dark.
I mean, I don't know. I'll take Sean Connery, I guess, if you can do that instead of Dolly Parton.
See, now the nerves are too far there. I do have for you. Threads in the dark. Hands beckoning. Fingers shushing. Fists punching. Wrists severed from the mind. Never not sewing together.
One more time, please.
Threads in the dark. Hands beckoning. Fingers shushing. Fists punching. Wrists severed from the mind. Never not sewing together.
Alright.
Severed from the mind, never not selling together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. How much daylight do we have left? We got here pretty early.
Yeah, but you guys have spent a good amount of time.
It's 10 minutes per casting. We've been here bare minimum 30 minutes. It probably took Soon an hour to go get that stuff.
Get stuff,
Right.
and then for
It's
you guys to
probably like-
have your discussions.
It's probably past lunch. We missed lunch. I'm hungry.
I mean, the good thing is we have a new kind of jumping off point. We are beginning to just hit dead end on dead end here on our side. So
I've been in a bit different sense of every question, every answer we get more questions. So
when you're,
I'm glad at least you're hitting dead ends because we're not.
At least questions lead you to more roads.
I don't like it. I want to trade once again.
I would say yes, but then I'd be again lying.
Lying.
So, yeah.
So I can do.
Appreciate your honesty.
I can.
yeah.
Okay. So out of character, the session's ending very soon.
Yeah.
In about like 15 minutes. Two things can happen. We can fast forward 2 days, and I can do commune and attempt to get those yes or no questions. The thing with commune is that you can't use it consecutively like legend lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can.
With commune, no, you can't, because every time you use it, you get a 25% chance
Of it
of
being
not
no.
getting anything.
wrong.
Yeah, you can.
You just
still
get
use
no
it over
answers.
and once. You can still use it more than once.
Yeah, but
In a
then
day.
we start getting the chance of information not being accurate.
Which would
It's
be
not
fun.
that it's inaccurate. It's just that you don't get anything.
Be fun.
Those are the choices that we have. So do you want to do that today and then do the encampment in the next session?
Yeah, this is a very lore-based session. We can do
I'm
commune
cool with
today.
that. Yeah.
So the next session we can go straight to the teleport, do that. Because I know the way this panned out last time is we're going to end up doing the 17th. The 24th is dead. We ended up doing last time the 1st of December and then nothing else.
Mm-hmm. We'll discuss that outside of game. But yeah. So.
We want to speed run,
Yes.
do the and then get ready to leave.
Yes.
We can do the commune as the last part of this session.
This will be over the course of 2 days. So I do it tomorrow, and then we sleep another day to get ready to leave. So I
Sure.
can have all my spells ready properly.
Well, and you can. Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
other things, yes. In the same
All
day
right.
if you want. Like,
Is there a place where we can stay here in Vikram? I assume.
Yeah,
Haven't
there's a inns.
it's too hot here.
Didn't
How-
you guys stay here before?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I hated every minute of it. I don't know how anyone lives in Dake area. That shit blows.
Okay,
It's
then.
too hot.
I'm trying to. This is the one time I'm like remembering things. Be like, I don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
This is great.
I hate this.
Okay, if you want to do this, we can speed run this. Unless you want me to do, I have 2 more spell slots I can use Legend Lore with today. I don't have the money,
Yeah.
or I do have the money. I
Well,
can eat it, but someone else has to pay for this.
There's also the thing of Vikram has incense. I'm not sure if it has more than 500 worth of incense.
At any given
Oh.
time.
So let's
Great. I
yeah.
bought them out.
You guys do that a lot to places that aren't
Yes.
Greywall.
They love us. They love us. We're just
You
like, yeah,
stimulate
how much
the
you got?
economy
As much?
single-handedly.
Give me all. I love it. We're so good.
But as we kind of go quicken over the next 2 days, what are you got questions?
So I'm just gonna do the long rest. Because I want to make sure I have my things set up properly. Because I fucked up my spell slots a lot. So I'm switching over to commune. It's 3 yes or no questions. I already have the vial of holy water. It doesn't say it's consumed.
Okay.
Before I do this, I want to ask everyone, including Lexon, what 3 questions am I asking?
I mean, you listed off 3 pretty solid ones, so I'd say trust your gut.
The 3 questions I asked was, did Mistra betray the gods? I forgot the questions. My brain is still addled from the sickness.
Mr. Betray, did Azuth betray? And
Did Azuth betray Mistra? Or did the Ascended betray Mistra?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the third one?
It was about Azuth.
Did the Ascended cause their,
Oh yeah, did the Ascended cause that? Yeah.
the Age of Silence? Okay. I'm using commune.
Okay.
What's the flavor text on this?
It's basically, you guys are underneath, once again, of the bookstore front, as you just kind of get down and you actually pour the water into this slight bowl, and as the rest of you can watch and onlook, as Rem just waits, sitting in front of it, the rest of you can begin to see the water slightly bubble. And then for each bubble that bursts, it's almost like it was containing this small, black, dirt in it as the water begins to cloud over. And the questions begin to be asked.
O Lady of Grief, please answer me to the best of your ability. Did the goddess known as Mistra betray the gods and become did the goddess known as Mistra betray the gods? That's the end of the question. I want to ask if she was punished. Did she betray the gods?
As all of you watch, you can see the water darken substantially. And it conveys no to you.
Did the beings known as the Seven Ascended cause the Age of Silence?
You watch as the water becomes more clear, the black disappearing. This indicates, yes, they were a piece.
The last question I don't have to ask because we know if Mistra didn't betray them, they betrayed Mistra, right? That's what we can assume.
So ask about Azuth instead then.
You guys have to promise not to be mad at me. Promise me right now you won't be mad.
Did you mess it up?
Just promise you won't be mad at me.
Me?
Yeah, I won't.
Oh, Lady of Grief, for my final question. Is the goddess known as Mistra dead?
The water bubbles, and as it does, you can see it becoming pitch black. No. And then the water flash clears itself. And you are all left with new information, pulling outside as a new course has been set. Things need to be done. Hopefully, without attracting the malice of who you oppose, for the time being. But that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Little bit out of left field, and I'm sorry I didn't have the more fun answer of yes.
I think the answer of her being not dead is interesting in itself.
But wasn't expecting that one.
I know, that's why I asked.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you Helminia, James, Suzanne, Alpha, and Jazz for participating, coming all the way through here. Very, very lore heavy episode, and I know that legend lores are vague, especially coming from me. But
Man,
I can't give you guys the fucking dictionary.
Everything is vague.
As we use it more, it's going to become more relevant. And painfully, we're reaching a point where we have to start doing this, or we're going to have, I would rather use this and us eat the cost so we can approach something rather than it approach us.
It's making me realize that you guys are gonna smash cut into realization as you guys get context, and it's gonna lead to things like that.
I mean, I can't wait for Zex's reaction in the next episode of Mistra's not dead.
I never thought she was.
Yeah, but we don't know where she is. We thought that she was snuffed out, right? Or that's what the story goes, isn't it?
Yes,
The story
was
yeah.
Mistra is no longer widely appreciated, widely worshipped, and has such fallen out of. She's still a deity.
She would effectively be dead as a deity at that point.
But effectively dead as religion would go.
And we got such a violent reaction too. That was a very violent reaction.
It was.
I asked the question specifically, is the deity known as Mistra dead? Specifically asking, not about her as a physical entity, but her as a total. Is the deity known as Mistra dead? The answer was no. I phrased these questions very specifically for a reason.
Yeah.
But until next week, thank you everybody so much for watching, and we will do our best to communicate with each other what days we're not going to be able to do it. Obviously, we're not going to be doing it Thanksgiving, but yeah, we'll be here for next week. I'm fairly sure. And thank you everybody so much for watching. If you're not following yet, make sure to follow, and if you're not subscribed, if you're watching the YouTube restream, make sure to subscribe. You are all wonderful people, and I'm so glad to have 5 people going through my wild story. And even though they're frustrated, I hope they're all having a good time. Everyone, have a good night, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye, guys.